And sisters, my name is Sukant Chandan. I'm from the Malcolm X movement, and I've been working with this issue in Libya actually since the late 1990s, but also from the inception of the NATO war of destruction against Libya, which was an attack on the entire African continent actually, since 2011. I just want to relay a few things to you, because I went 3 times during the NATO war against Libya in 2011. So I wanted to convey a few things to you. I also want to let you know I work directly with the Libyan Resistance against racism and imperialism.
Yes.
One thing you should understand first of all, the Libyan people comprise 3/3 of different kind of looking people. 1/3 of the Libyan people look like white people from North Europe. The other third of Libyan people look more or less like me and my complexion. And the other third of Libyan people are black people, black African people, people who have a dark hue and dark skin. And this relates to the fact that in Libya, because the colonialists drew up the borders that was not our choice, they cut through ethnic and tribal lines. So you will have tribes in the Sahel region. Those who don't know, Sahel is the Sahara belt in that region of Africa. You have tribes from Niger, from Chad, from Algeria, from Egypt, who tried to cross over into Libya as well.
Yes.
And from Mali as well, absolutely. And the war against Mali as well, shortly after Libya, was also tied together in what imperialism, and you have to remember who led this colonization and neo-colonial war against North Africa and Libya, who actually incepted this racism and slavery in Libya. It was none other than this state, this country in which we're standing, and the French state.
That's true.
Because they use proxies, militias, death squads in Libya that were explicitly and strategically anti-black. Why? Now, we can have a critical conversation about the Jamahiriya of Muammar Gaddafi, and we should. There was pros and cons. But I'm telling you that Libya, under that socialist government, gave some relative dignity to black migrants traversing through the people smugglers into North Africa. When I went to Libya, I worked with Pan-Africanist youth organizations in Tripoli. When I went to Libya, because there was a NATO bombing campaign, I had to go through the land from Tunisia. On my first trip, I met thousands of black African brothers who were in refugee camps on the Tunisian side of the border. You have to remind yourself that the NATO's freedom fighters, so-called in 2011, one of those militias was called the Brigades for the Purging of Black Skin. NATO and its proxies wanted to destroy Libya as a Pan-Africanist country. Just weeks before the NATO intervention, Muammar Gaddafi met in Tripoli in a conference Pan-Africanists and black radicals from London and the United States. He also met, and you can see on the internet, the only male heir to Malcolm X, Malcolm Shabazz, was in that room in Tripoli with Muammar Gaddafi. The discussion was, how can Libya be a support for the black liberation struggle across the West, and how Libya is a home to the black liberation movement across the world. So imperialism wanted to destroy Libya, wanted to destroy that country that was using its oil wealth for the benefit of its people and for the benefit of Pan-Africanist projects. There's another very important thing I want to relate to you. It's very important.
Remind us.
There was a town until late 2011 in northern Libya called Tawarga. This was the only, I repeat, this was the only black African town in all of North Africa. Dark-skinned Libyans, nearly 40,000 of them. That town no longer exists today because NATO's proxies have wiped out those people. They've been raped, looted, and massacred towards the end of 2011. I work with the Tawargans.
Unacceptable.
And you should know that the Tawargan people are a Libyan and African people. And the Tawargan people are a highly respected and integral part of the Libyan resistance. So I'm telling to you, this was going on since the spring in 2011. These so-called rebels and freedom fighters for NATO in Libya, excuse me sister, these so-called rebels, the first act of their so-called revolution, These are the scumbags that represent them now. This flag is the flag of the Italian colonialist and the British colonialist of King Idris, who is an absolute scumbag. Right, so this is the state of the lynchers of NATO. And so the first act of the so-called Libyan Arab Sting, some people call the Libyan Spring, Arab Spring, the first act, and they were so proud of it. They filmed it in their hundreds. They went into the public squares in Benghazi and in Derna on the east side of Libya, and they lynched, they chopped up our black brothers.
That's a fact.
And myself and other comrades, a few of us, were saying to the world from February, March, this is going on. And everyone denied us, censored us, ignored us. And it was only until Channel 4 News went to Tripoli after NATO's death squads had overthrown that country that they found literally our African brothers and sisters crying their eyes out in fear for being lynched and raped by NATO's proxies. So this is the 7th year this has been going on. For 7 years I've been working directly with the Libyan Resistance, with the Black Liberation Movement. And during August 2011, I can tell you, some of you may have been there, it was myself and only 12 other Pan-Africanists who were in front of the US Embassy denouncing all this. So I'm telling you, this has been a long, hard struggle to try and engage people, and this is why it's so beautiful and important that our comrades have initiated this very important protest, that we've taken inspiration from our African brothers and colleagues in Paris and other parts of Europe. It's high time. It's the 7th year that we've been trying to engage people directly with the Black Liberation Resistance, with the Libyan Resistance. We say rightly, free our brothers. But the only force that can free our brothers is not the colonialists, is not the French state, is not the British state. They are the arsonists. They are the neo-colonialists who is doing this to Africa. They are using Africa as a people smuggling route to supply dirty European men with women involved in prostitution. Our people are dying on the people smuggling route in the desert. Our people being manipulated, our sisters are being manipulated across Africa and even into Near East Asia. Even from Syria, people are coming through that route. There's only one force that can liberate our people, and there has been only ever one force that can liberate our people. That's our revolutionary grassroots in our homeland, in alliance with others. So I invite you, and my concrete proposal from here on is that we have to take this rise of passion and solidarity, and we have to organize that strategically now. That's the next step. We have to find unity, as my brother is correctly saying. We have to unite all the Africans along with the other allies and comrades across the world and support the Libyan Resistance, the people of Tawarga, the black tribes of Libya, and the other people of Libya are fighting this racism and slavery today.
We condemn it.
We should not be manipulated by the neo-colonialists who are responsible for the situation.
Enough is
Only yesterday,
speak out.
Nearly 40 of our brothers and sisters died in the new Middle Passage in the Mediterranean Sea.
It's unacceptable.
We have to understand this is a direct, explicit strategic policy of the leading NATO countries. This is not a quote-unquote mistake.
No,
They made a mistake first in Afghanistan, then in Iraq, and then in Syria, and then in Somalia, and then in Mali. This is not mistakes. A mistake you make once and you can rectify. You don't make a mistake a dozen times over 2 decades. This is what we're faced with. This is a recolonization strategy of imperialism. This is a strategy to ensure that Africa stays on its knees and it never has a leadership that uses its God-given natural wealth to uplift the African masses. So the Libyan Resistance is one of the most important resistance movements anywhere in the world. And that's our only path to resistance and liberation. So, in conclusion, thank you to those who have organized us today. Let's take this forward and organize together. I am in touch with the Libyan Resistance day and night. I am an honorary member of the Libyan Resistance, and we work with other people around that. So let's join hands in defense of our people. Thank you.